exquisite to the slightly late morning show, or slightly late morning show, Elevensies with Lisa Anton and Skittle today, who's decided to join us. It being Friday, October the 15th, it would be Fantastic Friday. Oh no, don't.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry. This is why you never work with children, animals, aquarians, witches, musicians, or any other unstable
You're
people.
naughty.
Yes. So, and it's so hilarious. So when I was typing away, I was just waiting for Lisa because Lisa got tied up on a phone call just before we came on air, which has slowed us up a little bit this morning. I just want to edit this. And I'll try and do that while we're doing it so people get the notifications, because I have noticed...
So he calls me the sovereign goddess of weird.
That's bloody right,
and he
though.
says that wherever I go...
That is true.
I will meet someone weird.
No,
and
I think, draw people to it.
Or there's some strange coincidence, and I think that he's thinking about the restaurant with the waiter that got our table that was from Lake Mohawk.
There was, yeah, which we'll mention as well. But I'm just waiting for people to join us. Oh, I see somebody's joining us now. So looks like it's working. So the Sovereign Goddess of Weird. The perfect example today is some person phoned up,
all right, yeah.
And just wouldn't shut up. And he's just trying to go, please, I have to go. No, really, I have to go. And the guy just would not stop talking. So
we want to have some work done on the shop in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And I was Googling the price of things, and lo and behold, somebody calls me about it, because that's how it is.
It is.
But he's like some child with ADD.
Well,
and
hang on. No, ADD is a real problem.
I finally said to him, excuse me, how old are you? I've actually been in my building longer than you have been alive. Oh my God. He wouldn't shut up. He would ask me a question. And I'd say, well, and then he'd just spew another question. I said, look, you know what? I'm going to tell you that I'm going to hang up now because we're not going to be compatible. I'm not going to be able to work with you. Well, you have to tell me why. You have to tell me why.
Well, you have to let me answer because you won't. There's your problem. Oh, gosh. Oh, hello, Vin. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Brilliant Witches, for all that you share through Tube of You and Facebook. And I've been going through your videos and learned so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us, Vin. Thank you. I'm delighted that hopefully we're going to start getting some new people. We put up a cracker yesterday. If you haven't seen it, a cracker of a video. It's a good one.
Oh,
Rocktober.
Cracker is good?
Cracker, yeah, a real cracking video. Really
cracking, okay.
So a cracker is one that is cracking, is it not?
Not like releasing the Kraken.
No, that's a whole different thing. And I think they're still waiting. Stop, don't nose coffee. Don't nose coffee. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So we put up a really nice video yesterday.
Yeah, Rocktober. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's us on a little road trip to go and get some crystals, because you wouldn't believe how many crystals we got. Like 40,000 bloody.
No, I think we're 35,000.
34,000 something. Whatever.
34,000 something pieces.
It's more than you can put in your pocket. I promise you that. Yeah. Unless you've got huge pockets and very, very strong trousers.
Today. You don't need to be a stink.
Well, it's what she does all the time. That's her MO.
Anyway.
That's what Skittle does.
But yes, I think that I kind of get this. I inherited this from my dad.
You think? Did he have Sovereign God of Weird?
Well, you could not take him anywhere, where he didn't know someone, or someone who knew someone. Like he was just funny like that.
He was fairly ubiquitous, I would say that. Most people, certainly around here, and I know, gosh, because it would have been his 100th and whatever birthday this May, wouldn't it have been?
Oh, he'd be 105.
105.
Carol says she watched it. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Shauna.
Yeah.
So he was.
People knew him.
He would just make friends wherever he went. He was just a funny old guy.
I think we do.
And I think that people sense our
morning, Aaron.
Our sincerity and our empathy, because we really do care about people.
We do give a poop. That is correct.
Even if we go to a place we've never been, or a store we've never been in, or whatever, it's inevitable that somebody is going to approach us and say something strange.
Well, people approach us all the time, which is great and wonderful, and we love to spread, a little bit of happiness wherever we go. And as Lisa says, we do understand, everybody's got a job to do, and sometimes, we're when somebody's obviously having a bad day, we try to be nice to that person, not mean and horrible and a Karen and throw our toys out the pram and stamp our feet and demand to see the manager. We try to be nice to people because, this is one thing I learned fairly early on, but I think it's worth repeating. It's nice to be important, but it's far more important to be nice. It really is. And it doesn't matter how big you are or how much money you've got or whether you scrape the streets for a living. It doesn't matter whatever you do. Just be nice, in a world where you can be anything, be kind and be nice. And I think that makes such a difference. It changes the world. Now, that's great because it means we're approachable. And I think we have this inherently approachable vibe about us, which is wonderful. Unfortunately, it does tend to bring the lunatic fringe as well.
All right, he alluded, when we were doing our October documentary, we talked about the Indian restaurant. He alluded to the fact that we've had some very weird experiences. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not just talking people. I'm talking weird stuff happens around.
So
go on.
We used to go. Anton used to have a client in the Channel Islands.
An offshore bank, yeah.
So he used to do software design for them. So we would go to Guernsey a couple times, maybe 3-4 times a year.
Yeah, quite a fair bit.
When we would go home to Wales, we would then go from there out to Guernsey. All right. So there was a Thai restaurant that we really liked.
It was beautiful, actually. They had little pillows to sit on and all that sort of stuff.
But the first time we went there...
it was odd.
The first time we went there, it was very busy. And when we walked in and we looked and there were, it was no tables. And the maitre d' lady came up and she said, how many? We said 2. And she said, there's a long wait unless you'd like to eat upstairs. And we said, well,
sounds great.
That's fine. We'll go upstairs. So we go up. These are old buildings, so they're creaky and higgledy-piggledy. And we go up these creaky stairs to this room that's like a horseshoe shape. Right?
Yeah.
So it was like a banquet room, right? So they turned the lights on this side, right?
Just a few.
So the stairs come up the middle, and there's a big table with cushions on that side, and a big table with cushions on this side. So they turn the lights on this side only, and they seat us at this table, this big table. There's only 2 of us on this big long table. And
it's kind of cool. We can make a mess.
And they bring us the menu. And we're like,
we're in our element.
How lucky are we? We're here up by ourselves up here having the most delicious food.
Was good food. I can't remember the name of it, but really, really good food. Actually.
So she takes our order and she leaves. And this energy comes.
It's weird stuff.
And I'm like...
And lights start blinking.
And I'm like, oh, no.
No, what's going on?
So I'm like, well, this place is haunted.
Oh, very.
Oh, now all right, okay. So I recognize I'm not a channeler. I am not a medium.
You are unwilling.
I am not a channeler. I'm not a medium. It's not my thing.
Sometimes you have no choice in the matter.
But, like Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost, there is now a person sitting on me is the best way I can explain it. And I get the download. And the waitress comes back and I'm like, this is going to sound really weird, but I think your mom is hanging around.
Instantly the waterworks turn on.
And she ran downstairs and I'm like, okay. So she proceeded to bring how many people?
I don't know, the entire bloody family.
The entire kitchen staff and wait staff, or what? There was now 6 people at this table.
I think they threw everybody out the restaurant.
And we had a little bit of a download.
It was lovely, though.
It was bizarre. But it's like, how does this even happen?
It was totally unplanned. But I mean, gosh, yeah. There's so many weird and wonderful things have happened and continue to happen on a daily basis.
But those are the kind of, I just love these strange things.
It's because you have that approachable vibe, see? So you're approachable, but it doesn't matter that, they may have crossed the veil. You're still approachable.
Yeah, but I am not a medium. That's not my thing.
Well, no, but, sometimes I guess you have no choice in the matter. I mean, it was like the knock we got on the door the one time you decided, well, I'll try this channeling malarkey. You remember? Did we ever tell them that?
Oh, I think we did.
Did we? Well,
yes.
It's time of year. I might mention it again.
I decided that so many people were asking for mediumship that I would test it. So I did what like a gallery or an open medium thing where we had a tea party and people would come and then I would channel whoever. And I'm sure we told you that Andre the Giant came and the little girl at the end of the table said that was for her. And I'm like, how do you know? And she said because her grandparents owned a tailor's and a dry cleaner's and her grandmother made his clothes.
Wow.
Andre the Giant, yeah. And that's the night that we went upstairs and we locked up and went upstairs and we went in the kitchen and made like cheese and crackers and poured the wine and went into the living room.
Sit our bums down and chill out in front of the boob tube for a while.
On the apartment door, and he's like, "What did you lock somebody in the bathroom?" I'm like, "I don't think so."
Why would anybody? Outside or ringing the bell, we could understand, but knocking
on the
apartment
door, there was nobody there except probably Andre the Giant. But anyway,
and then you bottled it and decided you weren't going to channel.
I said, "That's it. I'm not doing that no more. It's not my gig."
Well,
no,
you can do it. You can, even if you say you don't want to.
It's not my gig.
Well, I understand. This weird and wonderful stuff, and I mean, it's interesting because
we should write a memoir because nobody would believe this stuff.
Well, we're still making memories right now,
That's true.
We're looking forwards, not back. So the best is yet to come, as we keep saying.
Oh God!
So we've got another adventure planned for next week, which we're not going to tell you about, but we may document it.
I think we'll document it, and then we'll see what happens.
We'll see how it goes. So it might turn into another little epic video, which is kind of cool. Yeah. What was I saying? Where was I saying? Go on, give me a clue. Bring me back before I got lost.
Oh, I said it was, we should write our memoirs, and you said...
Oh, the best is yet to come, but just what was the sentence before that?
I'm not doing the channeling.
Oh, no, we've completely forgotten. Okay, so we've derailed ourselves. No, I remember now. It was apt and appropriate what we were talking about with the people who passed over. Because oddly enough, I don't imagine for a moment, because she's in England and she's very busy, and I'm sure they're going out for something to eat tonight, which is about now. Because it's my sister's birthday today. So, of course, we sent her a little something. I actually sent her a ring with dragonflies. And it's interesting because some say, legend has it, that dragonflies indicate you're being visited by somebody or something from other. And I know my sister Fliss has been experiencing the dragonfly thing and mentioned that to Lisa, which is why we sent her this particular ring. Well, so she was raving on about that this morning. So it's kind of...
Well, it's the time of the ancestors. Tonight is Ancestor Circle.
It is, and that's see, you've got your precognitive head on again. Tonight is our Ancestors Circle. And what we do at Ancestors is we honour. It's probably it's the super weepy one. Whenever we do it in person, you have to make sure there's plenty tissues there. Because this is the one where we do mourn the loss of our ancestors.
Those who are remembered live.
Absolutely. And but without our ancestors, we would not be. And we all too soon forget about that.
So, what we do is each person can usually come up to the altar and they talk about whoever it is they want to honor, and they weave a flower into a wreath. Mm-hmm. And then we hang that wreath out by circle, and 2 weeks later at Samhain, of course, the flowers are all dead, but it's a way of collecting that energy to bring them into circle.
Hello, Sparky.
We're all on Zoom, and it'll be all right. And this is Emmett who's crying because
he's just
he will not get on your lap. He's just a weirdo.
I'll trash the joint. He'll climb something and break something. He does.
He rips things down.
He does. Yeah. Shreds things, and whinges about everything, which he's doing right now. Yeah. So it is. Well, yeah, it is. I mean, we do honour our ancestors, and those that are not remembered. Also, we try to put a word in, because they were somebody's something. Everybody's somebody's something at one stage. And there is that essence of what is remembered lives. So one of the things we particularly want to get into doing, and is on our agenda for things to do, is to find an old abandoned graveyard or neglected graveyard. And we want to go, once we get back to being in community and stuff, and the run up to this time of year, to go and clean up those
This is something
gravestones.
that Christopher's Druid Order does,
But it's because
honor
that must be the fate of us all. Nobody escapes this world alive, So it's nice to think that still somebody cares, and so we want to care. We do our best to care for the living, and we should respect and honor our dead too. I think that's. And there's much we can learn from our dead. That may sound really strange, but we're getting now into the sort of the bardic interplay, and speaking with the voice of the dead. Iolo Morganach did, without doubt. I mean, I would suggest he channeled the likes of Taliesin. I would suggest an awful lot of bards channeled Taliesin, because what is Taliesin if not the radiant brow?
You're on a tangent now.
That inspiration that lies within all of us, waiting to be tapped. Where does it come from? And when we talk about magical contagion and the way that, energies are traveled forwards and brought, through, everything.
And how does this have anything to do with the sovereign goddess of weird?
Being weird.
Other than sometimes weird things do come to me. I don't know, it's maybe 5 or 6 years ago now. We were having a meeting, and I wrote down this word in Welsh that I didn't know what it meant. And it turns out that it was one of the books that
Barthas or something like that.
Barthas.
Long before you'd even
heard of Barthas, and now Llewellyn has published the Barthas, but I didn't even know what it meant. Things like that is what's weird that happens to me. I get these strange cryptic messages that I then have to decode and figure out. But it's coming along. I'm getting there.
We've still got so much learning to do, and I think there's so much buried.
Good morning, Karen.
So much is buried in language that we just take for granted. It's like we all become like the person who gets to work on autopilot. When you speak a language fluently, when it's your language and you use it to, 2 cups of coffee or a pint of beer or whatever it is you're doing, you forget the meaning of your language. You just use it like a tool, and you forgot where it came from, and and it's fascinating to us. I think
people
Lisa
don't even know why they're named what they're named anymore.
Exactly.
Right? Stewards of the land.
Exactly.
Cooper, barrel maker.
Fletcher, make the flights on arrows. Thatcher, they would make a roof. So being named after your trade. But that aside, I think when you start to dig into a language, and when you start to learn another language, you start to do the comparison. You start to look at.
You start to realize how poor language English is. I'm sorry.
If you could,
not a lot of depth to it, really. But.
And a bewildering language, an absolutely bewildering language. I mean, we have the luxury of having
bow, cough, slough, slew.
Slew. Yes, Slough, slew,
cough.
as into slew a track.
Bow.
Yeah. Wow. Bow, cough, slew. Yeah, all the same word. Go figure. It's very tricky English.
Anyway.
But when you start to dig into a new language, and you start to see the origin of the words, and you dig in the etymology thereof, it starts to reveal much, And it's almost like that bardic thing, What about you, O child of promise? Where do you come from?
Okay. I don't think we're really talking about the title of this Elevensies anymore.
I think
I'm going to bring it back to people and say there are no coincidences. So if someone talks to you or you meet someone new, open yourself to understand that they may be in your soul cluster, and that you may need to hear something that they have to say.
As long as it's not me, because you don't want to hear what I have to say.
Well, I don't mind listening to what you have to say, but you've titled this about sovereign goddess of weird,
I know,
and you've gone off about bardic tradition.
But it is that not in and of itself kind of weird? Some of the weird people we've met in the bardic tradition, you've got to love them, and the strange and wonderful things that just happen. I just love it. I love the weird stuff, because it's just cracking. It's great. It's just, where does all this come from? This incredible, wonderful. It's almost like every day is a new discovery.
Well,
isn't
it's
it?
bizarre.
It's like this
here,
wonder, this wonder that fills us. So yeah, we could write memoirs, but we ain't done making them yet. Definitely, I think we've got a lot more weird stuff to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, but things are just strange. Like the time that the shop was broken into, and then we found out that the person's name on the door was Archer Freer, and that my aunt was a Freer, and it's just that kind of weird things.
And that kind of weirdness of how all that went down. The fact that the guy, I think it's something like 8 o'clock in the bloody morning or whatever. He's just
still
obviously
drunk,
he's still rat-arsed and trying to find his way home. Decides he's going to kick the door in at our store for some reason, so the alarm's going off. Danny was in the apartment upstairs, and she was having a fit. She's calling us, but so you called the police.
Well. Yeah. Oh no,
the police are there in seconds. Yeah,
we've already told this story, but I was just saying that's one of those. But
that's just weird. That you should find behind the door frame a relative who built the bloody house.
Yeah, it's strange like that. But that's that soul cluster, and then you have your soul buddies. People who are in your life for a time period, for whatever particular thing.
You walk together for a while. I think. I don't know what's this. There's like certain places as well where there's definitely a strong. I don't know if it's past life or magical connection, but I mean I've not been to the US before I met Lisa. And one time she took me up to the Adirondacks, and I've never been there. And we went out onto this little promontory on Adirondack Lake, and I caught my first fish because, I'm from Birmingham. We don't fish in Birmingham. We have canals, more canals than Venice, but you wouldn't want to eat anything out of there. It'd be probably a shopping trolley or somebody's boot, But, weird, this strange past life or
connected to that space.
I know this place. I know this place. I feel it in my bones, Yep. And I know I've mentioned the one time when I was in the physics lab at school. It's like in my second year or something at my senior school, and we were all shooting the breeze as kids do. What are you going to do? How old are you going to be when it's 2000?
2000, you're going to be ancient.
Going to be like, how are you still going to be breathing?
30-something, oh my God.
But yeah, and I just knew I was going to be in New York to see the Millennium Man. And I don't know why, but bugging me if I wasn't.
Yeah, it's just those weird things that come in, and sometimes we just let them pass, and then later on we go, oh.
And when Lisa came to Wales,
land of our fathers,
and it turns out
it is.
Turns out you're 74% Welsh.
So bizarre.
You've got more legitimacy to be Welsh than I am. I mean,
you're Scottish.
Well, my dad's a sweaty sock, but I was born in Birmingham, so and I believe my dad has Irish parentage somewhere in there on his mother's side and all that. I don't know. I think we're working. I don't think everything's gone whatever. I think it's probably Skittle who stamped.
Good morning, Nessa. Good morning, Brenda.
Hopefully it's still working.
Oh, it's coming back now.
So I thought it was working. I think the Book of Face. The Book of Face
is having trouble.
Yes. Who knows?
Anyway.
Who knows?
Card of the day?
I suppose we could, if you really must. I was enjoying having a chat. Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah,
I can see straight away. That's the Three of Pentacles because I'm just looking straight at the very top of the card. Talk about a higher purpose. Maybe there's a message for us in here.
My reading for you with this card for today is go ahead and build relationships with the esoteric, with the strange, with the different, with the people who will expand your way of thinking. Go ahead and build relationships.
Oh yeah, put yourself in a place where you're going to grow, because this very much is about a higher purpose. And these three pentacles at the top of the card, just to show you, these are the supernals. So that which is beyond our understanding, quite literally beyond the veil of our understanding. We can't figure it out. You're trying to get Emmett to come and trash on the table.
I want him to see him. He's so beautiful.
He's so focused today. I love it. So yeah. For me, this card is very much about improvements, but improvements for a higher purpose. So improve yourself today. Dare to think. You as well. Shut up. Dare to think, and.
He's so funny.
He's just, I'm sure more people would want to watch him than us, to be honest.
I bet so.
It's probably true.
Well, I can't reach you now.
He fell
over and he's got his belly up.
Me. Yes, only one pet on the belly, otherwise you lose the hand. That's the way it goes. It's protocol.
Well, he's a tricolor male. He has an orange stripy belly.
He's
Yeah.
a turd of the first order. I think this is one of my absolute favourite minor arcana cards.
I do love this card.
I do. I love it. And there's so many layers, of course, because it's a layered card, like everything else. But this is good, yeah. So for today, yeah, dare to think. Go get in the company of people who can make things happen.
Pretend there is no box.
Yeah, what box? Who needs a box? It's weird and wonderful and beautiful and brilliant, and life is fantastic if you dare to embrace that which is unknown. And I think that's what we do. I think we embrace what?
He's staring at me and making bread in the air, like anticipating that I'm going to pet him.
This one's just going to stomp all over the computer and take us offline again. So
yeah.
Dare to embrace the weird, because it's served us really, really well. You know?
Yeah.
We've met some amazing people, and if you just do what's ordinary, if you just stay with the humdrum, if you'll forgive the saying, you just live the tits, beer and NASCAR life, and you don't ponder the imponderables, life is going to be pretty dull. Pretty damn dull. Maybe that's okay. But chances are you're not going to be watching this if that's okay for you. You're probably one of these people who goes, what does that mean then?
Think outside the box. There's a box?
Yeah, what's a box? What's that for? Well, cats can tell you about boxes.
Yes.
They like boxes. Yes. So embrace the weird. It's great. It's fun. It makes life interesting.
Yeah.
And, you learn stuff. And you learn stuff by listening to other people's stories, especially the weird and wonderful ones.
Yes.
If it's weird and wonderful...
How did you get here?
Well. Okay, this is going to be good. I'll pull up a seat and sit down. Those are the precious moments. We've met lonely people in weird parts of the world that have effectively given us their entire life story, haven't they?
Yeah,
I mean, this is what I mean about Lisa's sovereign goddess of weird, and
it's not just me. They talk to you too.
All right. Well, maybe we collectively honor the sovereign goddess of weird, but it's kind of cool that people love to share that sort of stuff, and we love to hear those stories. We love them. We totally love them. You can learn so much from other people's experiences. And it's that's how you learn. It is. All right. Are we done now? Have we said enough? Do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You could talk all day. Really.
I could and probably should. Maybe I should make a living talking.
Oh? Have a podcast? Interview weird people on your podcast?
There's a good one, isn't it? Wacko World of Weird. What's your weirdness? That's it. We could do that. We love it, but we're pretty weird ourselves. So, we're fully paid up members of the Lunatic Fringe, as Christopher would say. We definitely are. And
fully paid up members of the Lunatic Fringe.
We are, has to be said. So, there you go. And Erin, just while back, what did I miss? You missed it all. You missed the really good bits. You're going to have to go back and watch it.
Just scroll back.
Yeah, no, you didn't. She was in quite early, so I'm being flippant. Thank you so much for watching. I suppose we should bugger off and do something now.
I'm going to sneeze, so.
Oh, loudly?
Thank you.
This is going to be devastating. Hold on, I'll try and stop. Thank you so much.